This is our video on how to cook tinga using chemistry concepts. In order to cook today's tinga, you will need vegetarian meat, onions, tomatoes, soy chorizo, chipotle, salt, bay leaves, pepper, garlic, and broth from the meat. For silverware, we will need 2 pots, 1 pan, colander, and mixing spoons. For the pots, I would recommend stainless steel as its specific heat makes it warm up quickly, but also isn't so quick that your food burns when washing your hands. If you do not have stainless steel, then an iron skillet works just as fine. It also depends on your preference. Safety is also important as we are cooking. When using heat, there's always a risk of a fire. In order to make a fire, we will need all of the elements in a fire triangle. Fire needs oxygen, heat, and fuel. If any of these elements are not present, then a flame cannot arise. A fire extinguisher would be a great method to extinguish a fire when cooking, but so is a lid depending on the extremity of the flame. The extinguisher and lid would help by cutting out the oxygen of the flame. First, we must cook our meat. Fill the pot with water and let it boil with the garlic, salt, and bay leaves. You want to boil tomatoes in the pot. As the meat is cooking, you want to chop up onions into thin slices, almost moon-shaped. Once your onions are sliced, get a pan and begin to cook your onions and soy chorizo in it. Remember to let your onions become transparent. We know our meat is done when we see a physical change occur. A physical change is a change in state or phase in material. The meat begins to soften and somewhat expand, letting us know it's ready. Then we drain the meat but keep the broth. Next, to create your sauce, use a blender. You blend your tomatoes with the meat broth and chipotle. Finally, you mix your meat, onions, and soy chorizo in your sauce. When Crystal was cooking the tinga, she didn't have a gas stove. She was using an electrical stove. The electrical currents flow through the rods, making it look red. The electrical energy currents were converted into heat, making an exothermic reaction. When cooking our vegan meat, we use convection, the transfer of heat energy by physical motion of mass fluids. As hot water is heated at the bottom of the pot on the electrical stove, the hot water circulates around the pot, heating the meat. A way we know that water is being heated is once it begins to boil, causing steam. Boiling is the change from a liquid to a gas phase. When we cook our onions, soy chorizo, and mix all our ingredients together, we use conduction. Conduction is the movement of heat energy through matter by the transfer of vibrational energy between atoms and molecules that are in contact with each other. A good example is when cooking our onions and soy chorizo on the pan. The key is contact.